Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live as Leicester City head to the capital to take on Charlton in the lunchtime kickoff in the Championship this afternoon. We've got all the action for you here. We will have all the build-up and then we'll be able to see how the Foxes get on at the Valley from 12:30. That is kickoff time today. But we are in King Power Stadium in the studios for Foxes Hub. My name's Lewis Mason. I'm joined by Gerry Taggart and Steve Howard. How are we, gents?
Good afternoon. Is it? Oh, yes,
it's just afternoon.
Wow, nearly put my foot in it, but yeah, very well. Looking forward to the game.
Yeah, nice early one. Get us going on a Saturday. Everyone loves a bit of Saturday football and a trip to the Valley. Charlton are in good form. Leicester really wanting to bounce back, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be another tough game for Leicester, but I can see Charlton sitting again. You know, being the defensive unit like the manager's got them. And I think they'll be organised. I think it'll be a tough game, and I think Leicester's got to be on their game to get some kind of result today.
Yeah, I think Charlton haven't conceded a goal yet, so they're going to be a difficult team to break down. And Leicester have to sort those issues out defensively that sort of cost them last weekend away at Preston. The Valley is a bit of a cauldron, let's call it, down there. And by all accounts, the place is absolutely bouncing because of, obviously getting promoted and then, the couple of results that they've had straight back in the Championship. So all in all, this is going to be a difficult day and they have to step up to the mark.
Yeah, it's difficult for Leicester, obviously. It's almost like popping the balloon, that late winner against Sheffield Wednesday, and then trying to get yourself going. Huddersfield disappointment in the Cup as well, and then followed by an away defeat in the league again at Preston. That's going to be tough mentally, but that's why this game, again, very, very important to get yourself back up and running.
Absolutely. They've got to get back to winning ways, and yes, the Sheffield had the first game of the season, obviously, at the King Power. It wasn't what the performance they wanted, but they got the win. That's what you want at the first, and everybody thought, right, we'll kick on, and obviously, the cup defeat and then the defeat against Preston. All you can do is get the next game and put it right straight away, and I think there's enough quality in this side to do that. It's just they've just got to start clicking and starting games correctly and with the right mentality to try and get something from a game, especially away games. That's where you've got to get your points, as Tags will know.
You've got to be solid, don't you? Defensively, away games, they're never easy, especially at this level. We've seen that last week at Preston, the work rate that Preston brought to the game. And they, for just large players, apart from the quality that they did have, they outworked Leicester for a lot of that. And so this isn't going to be any different. This isn't going to be swashbuckling football from Charlton. But those players for Charlton are going to work as hard as they can for the 90 minutes. Leicester have to be able to match that and be resilient and tough to break down. And then hopefully with the quality that Steve's mentioned, then at the other end of the pitch, they can nick a goal here and there.
Well, let's take a look at the lineup for today from a Leicester point of view. This is the team that Martí Cifuentes has picked to take on Charlton at the Valley, and it is 4 changes from that defeat to Preston last time out. In come Hamza Chowdhury, Skip, Page and Monga, Justin, Winks, Elkanous and Mavididi out. So Stolarczyk in goal, across the back line, Hamza Chowdhury, Okoli, Vestergaard and Thomas. Then you've got Sumare and Skip in the middle. We also have got Louis Page in there, Jeremy Monga and Jordan Ayew in the side as well. So a couple of changes from the team last time out. And of course, Abdul Fattah, who we just missed from the first run through of the team. But obviously a couple of names really standing out. We knew James Justin might have been a bit of a doubt. Martí Cifuentes said that. Hamza Chowdhury comes in. And we also know that Steffi Mavadidi's got a slight muscle injury as well. So he misses out. Today, Louis Page comes in. First start for Leicester City. How big a day is it for him?
I mean, an away fixture, to get you, a first start. It's going to be some atmosphere to play in, and obviously there's a lot of pressure on the lad. But Jeremy Monga did it, so if he can get his, put a performance in and then make that his, why not? It's nice to see the young lads getting the chance, and we'll wait and see what it's like today.
Yeah, I remember I made my debut away at Portsmouth, right? And I was playing left back, which I didn't have a clue how to play at the time. But what I did do is I listened to the experienced players in and around me, and it helped me so much. So it's very, very important. Less so with Jeremy because he's had a bit of, time on the pitch and obviously excelled last weekend. But for Louis Page, that middle three, they're very, very young, aren't they? And then experience in the whole. But so you're looking at Oliver Skip, you're looking at Buba Samari helping young Page in that number 10 role if that's where he's going to play. Vitally important because, as I said, this is not an easy ground to come and make your full debut at. But obviously very exciting for him.
Is there something nice about being inexperienced? Do you feel a little less pressure because there's a case of go and show us what you can do?
I think it's, the naivety of youth, going there. I think Jerry Monga has come in there and thought, what, I'm going to enjoy it. And I think that's what Page has got to do as well. Go in there and enjoy the experience. But I think Tag's hit the nail on the head. I think that the communication of the whole side has to be better. And I think we've seen that over the last 2 or 3 games. But I think for a young lad like that, you got to call on the experienced lads to help him through this.
It's vital, isn't
it? It is because he's obviously he's gonna make mistakes. He's a young kid. But you've just got to have an experienced guys around you to say, what, doesn't matter, keep getting the ball, keep getting a hold of the ball, don't be frightened to give it away, because there's a lot of young players who will just, make a mistake and then go into the shell. But if you've got the right players around you, encouraging you, you always want the ball, and hopefully they'll do that today.
Obviously, Martí Cifuentes has seen Page in training, in pre-season. He's seen a lot more than we have. But what have you seen from Louis Page that makes you think he is ready to step up and deliver for the first team?
I've seen a bit of him in pre-season, and I'm impressed by what I've seen. I think he's got a bit of grit to his game as well. So with his back to goal, when he was receiving the ball, he makes himself big and strong. So when you're playing in that number 10 role and you're that link player between the back or the midfield and the forward line, it's vitally important that you retain possession, and you have to use whatever frame that the Lord has given you, and he does that. You look at him, you think, oh, he's a bit slight, but I tell you, he's got a little bit of grit, determination to hold on to the ball. He's quick, he's got 2 good feet, and we've seen in pre-season that he can, bob a goal in. So, I mean, I've got no issue with him starting today. It's the time, and that's all it is, and whether or not he can come and perform down at the Valley in Charlton. But he's got a bit about him, and I like what I see.
You say about him holding the ball up. I guess there's a case also for Ayew doing a bit of that for Page to go beyond.
Well, yeah, obviously. And we know all about Jordan, the experience he's got and his capabilities on the pitch. So, yeah, that's another facet to the game. But I think initially, if you're trying to find those little gaps and the Jordan Ayew, let's say, isn't on to play the ball into, then the next player you're looking for is that Louis Page in between the lines. And that's vitally important. That's why a lot of teams play that way these days, because sometimes that's where the gaps are, is in between the lines, the midfield and the back line. So it becomes a vitally important link-up position for a young player like that.
And Hamza Chowdhury comes back in at right back, leading the side. Always stability with Hamza Chowdhury. You know what you're going to get, and that must be great for Cifuentes to be able to call upon a player like that, with obviously Ricardo suffering his injuries, absolutely. Justin now, and then Chowdhury's another that you would normally say most clubs would be another backup to the backup, but actually you've got pretty solid strength there.
He has indeed, you know, and Chowdhury brings a bit of grit, like Tags just mentioned, with Page, and that's what Leicester need, a bit of grit, a bit of determination in there. But I think it's good to see him back. Obviously, he's been there, he's got experience, so hopefully he'll pass that on to the younger lads as well.
So, of course, kickoff is at 12:30 this afternoon. Of course, we've got you covered here on Fox's Hub and the ways that you can watch. Find out all the details on the website, lcfc.com. You can get your Game Pass, an international seasonal ticket. So if you're an international viewer, then you can get your early bird offer for £140, so you can see all the games this season in the Championship, and also you listen live if you prefer just the audio offerings and the commentary from the games. You can get that on the Fox's Hub as well at lcfc.com. Now then, Jeremy Monga. Steffi Mavadini's got a muscle problem, and Marty Cifuentes goes, "It's all right. I've got this fella who can actually come in and do a job." What an impression he has made.
This young kid.
He's done all right, hasn't he, so far? And this is a chance, his first league start, to just further his credentials.
I mean, I think he deserves a start. I mean, Tags with the game, the pressing game, and I thought he was brilliant when he came on. Yeah. You know, he gave the whole place a lift, because there was a bit of I think a lull in the game where Leicester weren't getting in. He came on with a bit of excitement, and the fans got up. You know, and that's all the fans wanted. They wanted just a little spark, little something to get them up. And you could see the whole team lifted when he came on, and obviously he got his goal. And we've just seen it there. I mean, it was for a young kid to get at the thing, drop his shoulder on the left-hand side, and rifle it in the bottom corner. I mean,
he just lit the whole place up.
It was just exciting,
and the fans got behind the team a little bit more, and then to cap it off. What's really impressive here, when he goes past the defender for the second time, and Steve will be better versed in this, where he just settles himself down before he strikes. He doesn't panic. He doesn't go one touch bang. He just settles himself, waits for the defender to slide in, moves it again, and then hits it. I mean, the composure he showed for such a young guy there is quite incredible.
You said Steve would be better versed, but what's it like to have a player when you're defending that? Someone who's going to be so direct, because his first thought there when he gets the ball is, "I'm coming at you."
Well, the problem for the defender is he knows that Monga's feet are that quick, and he's not off the mark. He might not have blistering pace, say over 30, 40 yards, but off the mark from a standing start to get away, he's incredible. So the defender's on the back foot straight away. So his last gasp is to then slide in. That's the only option he's got left, is to slide in and try and block the shot. And as I said, once he moves the ball for the first time past the defender knows he's in trouble. So he's sliding in. And that's where you would say, Steve, that you would take that quick shot. Yeah. He doesn't. He just lets him slide in, moves the ball again, and then hits it. And that is just a thing of beauty. Having that ability to process what is about to happen and what your next move is. And he just pulls it off brilliantly.
Well, that's incredible for someone so young, for game awareness, game management, to be able to think, I'm not going to just take the shot on. That's quite a skill.
Yeah. I think when he first came on the scene, he was trying a bit too much, trying to impress. But now the games he's played, and he sort of calmed down a bit, and like Tegs, you can see you know exactly what he wants to do, and the defender probably knows exactly what he's going to do. But you just kind of stop him, because you don't know when he's going to take that shot. And I think there'll be a lot of, especially at his age, there'll be a lot of guys going in the defender there, beating him and hitting that shot like Tag says, and obviously the defender that blocks it. But he's obviously had the calmness to say, you know what, I'll wait. I'll not snatch it. I'll just wait, and then he rifles it in the bottom corner, which is brilliant.
And a second touch as well. again, we haven't even touched it. If you look now, after a second touch, another defender's coming in. So his second touch has to be absolutely spot on till a millimetre there, so he can get that clean shot away, or else that second defender's going to come in and try and block it as well.
As a striker, what are you thinking? Are you becoming a poacher when Jeremy Monga gets on the ball, because you know he's going to go direct, and you need to be ready to take advantage of anything that may occur?
He's creating things in the box, and even if he takes that shot and it gets a little deflection, it might fire to somebody else, and everybody's got to be on their toes. And I think he's creating that. It makes the defenders drop off straight away, because he thinks, right, he's going to get out of this here. So the defenders drop off, and then if he goes and then has a shot and the ricochet, and you're pouncing it as the Leicester forward. I mean, to see wingers get at people like that, and obviously, either cut in and have a shot or put a cross in, is fantastic for a centre forward. It's brilliant.
Well, of course, he's got everyone excited at King Power Stadium, and very much so his manager, Marty Cifuentes, who spoke about Jeremy Monga after last week's game and just about how much more he can develop.
Well, first of all, I'm very happy with Jess. He's a very nice boy. He's humble, and it's something that at this age is very important, because he wants to learn, he wants to improve, and he's got feet on the ground. So my daily conversations with him, the way I see him training, he's calm. He's aware that it was his first goal, hopefully many for Leicester, and we're gonna try to help him to develop, to show all his talent that is big. But we need to go step by step. There's a lot of cases of players that there's a lot of promises, a lot of talks when they were young, and then perhaps they didn't achieve the career that they could. We're going to try to help him to understand that this is not easy, and perhaps one of the biggest challenges in professional football is not to arrive, but to stay, but to keep progressing. And I think he's got what is needed, because there is definitely quality in him. He's humble, as I said, and I think he has good people around him, which is important. So we're going to try to help him to be the player that he can be, and yeah, hopefully he's going to help us much more in the next games.
A humble guy, Cifuentes says, of Monga. And of course, we've had so many years with Jamie Vardy breaking records, and we got used to it, of course. Vardy's now gone, but now another record breaker in Jeremy Monga, 16 years and 37 days it was to become the youngest championship goal scorer in history. So brilliant stuff, and hopefully plenty more to come. That was the positive from last week. There were some troubles for Leicester last week. We can't deny that. Going behind so early from what was defensively not pretty.
No, I think you analyse both goals, then things could have happened a lot quicker and a lot easier if their organisation had been sorted out. The communication had been better. Again, me and Steve were both talking that there wasn't enough communication between the midfield and the back line. The second goal especially, when you're okay, you can forgive Leicester for sort of trying to pile the pressure on. They're trying to go for the win, but even though you're doing that, you still have to make sure that if and when, and it's more often than not, it's when the ball breaks down and when the opposition try and hit you on the counter attack, you have to make sure that you're in a position on the pitch to stop at its source. So when that first ball gets played, you've got someone there, bang, and that just didn't happen. And yes, it's a good finish and it's a good run, but Preston were a threat all day with that ball in behind, running down the sides. They created a few chances, probably could have been 3 or 4 on the score sheet. And as you see here, like, take nothing away from that finish, but that simple ball down the side was the undoing of Leicester on more than one occasion on Saturday, and Charlton are going to be watching this video and thinking, right, what do we do today to get, in behind Leicester? And that is a simple pass, not covered. That should be covered. There should be communication there to cover that.
I think there's a lot of teams going to set their formations up like Preston have done against Leicester. I think that's one of the things, and say, right, break us down. But Tags is dead right. The communication wasn't there on Saturday. little things of where I think when Leicester had the ball, that's when the defence should be talking to each other. When Leicester's got the ball and saying, you know, if we lose this, we're in our shape, we're solid. And I just think it was lacking on last Saturday, and the second goal just summed it up for me. It was just, there was no communication there whatsoever. And then obviously, you know, it was a bit of a soft goal. Can you say that, Tags? A bit of a soft goal to concede, you know, in the way he did. So it was obviously went down the left, great ball in, and it's a finish, you know, for a striker who's just got the keeper to beat.
I think you need to understand where your weaknesses are as an individual or as a unit or as a team. And if you understand that, then there's ways you can complement those weaknesses, i.e. try and, you know, make sure that it doesn't happen too often in a game of football. And that, for me, was the issue. They didn't source where the weaknesses were in Leicester's backline, and they didn't try and solve them problems. And that's why the 2 goals were scored like the way they were.
That communication is going to be even more important today. We've talked about Page and Monga coming into the starting lineup. They're younger players who maybe won't be the figures who are going to speak out so much. So the likes of Hamza Chowdhury, Oliver Skipp, they're going to have to step up, are they not?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I said, at one stage, all these players have made their debut at a certain age, and they'll understand what that feeling is like. It's a great feeling to be told by the manager that you're starting today and this is your debut. But on the other hand, the reality then sinks in and you're like, oh, you know, it's squeaky bum time, basically. And so to help you get through that, you need the experienced players who've been there, seen it and done it and got 200, 300, 400 games under the belt. That becomes a vital cog in the wheel of, vitally important that the experienced players help these younger lads out when they can. And then for Louis Page in particular and Jeremy Monga, their game is mainly based on getting the ball and travelling forward and trying to create stuff. So the pressure's slightly off them. The big issue for them is that initial pass into the feet. Can they control and keep possession of the ball? Can they then find a blue shirt? And then you're playing football then. If you can do those 2 basics as a forward player initially, now you're playing football. Now your confidence grows. It's different for defenders. You know, your first job is to win a header, win a challenge. If you win possession of the ball, just play it simple to a blue shirt. That's your job done. So for these attacking players, there's just a couple of little basics, and if they do that, now you're playing football. Now you're growing into the game. Now can you go and show us that little bit of magic?
We're getting ever closer to kick-off. Just less than 10 minutes until the game kicks off at the Valley. Charlton against Leicester City, of course, and you can buy your match pass on the website lcfc.com. Hit Fox's Hub and you'll be able to watch the game live this afternoon. So in terms of the game, Charlton are unbeaten in the Championship. Marty Cifuentes has been speaking about the challenge they face at the Valley ahead of today's match.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support